Welcome back. Your man Dominic K in here, Dominic K in the morning on the all-new RadioOnFire.com. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. As we reach day number 7. Search efforts at this Miami-Dade condo that has been at the forefront of news for the last week. And it is, as things continue to unfold, the condo board boss warned of the worsening damage before this collapse happened. This is weeks before the Florida condo building collapsed. The president of this board wrote that structural problems identified in the 2018 inspection had gotten significantly worse, and the owners needed to pay a hefty price to get them fixed. Did the owners put economics before lives? It may be too soon to say that definitely, but things are pointing in that direction. The April 9th Dear Neighbors letter from the Champlain Towers South Condominium president, Gene Woodnicki, hinted at an ongoing debate over the repairs and the reluctance by some condo owners to pay for the major work that was required. It would cost at least $15.5 million. A lot of this work could have been done or planned for years ago. So years worth of structural damage has been ignored, probably leading us to where we are. Some residents reported of water constantly being in the garage on their cars and things like that, seeing cracks in the foundation and the structure of the building itself. Warning signs were there. Things like this just don't happen, right? Building's 40 years old. The cost had increased since October 2018. Let's say that. And the longer they waited, the higher the cost to get this stuff in order. But wait, they did nothing. Each year they got $1 million worth of money that was supposed to go towards repairs. What happened with that money? We're going to find out. I'm sure that there's going to be some type of an investigation that goes down. At this point, it's impossible to know the extent of the damage, the underlying concrete. I mean, until this is opened up and they really get a chance to really examine this stuff, we're not going to know the extent. But this is something that is going to be. They have dump trucks that they have brought there, and they're taking debris to another location. It's going to be photographed. It's going to be cataloged. This whole thing is going to be exposed. Dominic K in the morning on the all-new RadioOnFire.com. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. We are talking about this terrible partial collapse of the building. I gotta say partial collapse because when you look at photos, you see, some of the building is still there. Some people are still inside. So it was a partial collapse of this building. 149 people unaccounted for. Now, some people are saying that there is this false hope going around, and rescue workers and the mayor are giving family members and friends false hope. They're saying that. Because as I said, we're at day number 7 of this ordeal. We're at day number 7. So they say some people are getting false hope because some rescue workers and the mayor are talking about other places in the world where people were in a building collapse and survived for weeks, 5 days, 2 weeks, things like that. So others say, you have to keep hope there. Otherwise you go crazy. So, definitely we're hopeful that this happens. We find more people alive. But as time goes on, this really, the chances of this greatly diminish. But that does not mean that they should not still continue to sift through and try to find folks. So the condominium association pegged the total repair and restoration cost at $16.2 million, counting items added since the 2018 inspection. So for those that believe that, we're assessing this too much, there are other condominiums throughout the Miami area, throughout the country, but throughout the Miami area specifically. Does that mean that other buildings that are 40 years old are at risk? Did this get to city officials? What is going on in this country where something like this could happen? So there's this letter that's floating around, as I said. The letter also shows that in April, a bid package for the major concrete and waterproofing work was still being discussed. I keep saying this over and over again, years and years of structural damage, nothing being done. They're still collecting the fees, repair fees, but no repair is being done. Let's trace that money. Where did that money go? Now, did they think that stealing this money or misappropriating this money was going to bring the structure down? Maybe they didn't think that. I don't think that they said, what we're going to do? We're going to steal this money, or we're not going to use the money for repairs of the building. We're going to just keep the money and that's going to make the building fall. No, they didn't think that the building was going to fall. But that doesn't mean that they're not liable, potentially, allegedly. The bill for these repairs was a big topic of conversation among residents. A lot of people were complaining, especially those older folks that were living there. It was a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But my thing is this: if they had been doing repairs every year, could this have been prevented? Could this have been prevented? I don't know. But as time goes on and scrutiny continues at this Surfside building, as this continues, people are going to start asking these questions, pointing in the directions of people that was getting money, supposedly for repair or maintenance of this condo. They get these condo fees $1 million. They had $1 million every year. They could have put money. They could have put something down on it. Could have started working on some things. They was preparing to work on some stuff. Of course, just when this building drops, we was just going to do something next week. Prosecutors in Florida will pursue a grand jury investigation into this deadly collapse. We still don't know the reason for the collapse at this time. Surfside's mayor, Burkett, said there were more than 100 units in the building and a third of the building pancaked. You keep hearing the word pancaked. They keep using that type of language when they're talking about it. Pancaked. Any information surrounding previous discussions surrounding the Champlain Towers before the collapse will be posted on the city's website for the public to see. Because a lot of these government officials are going to try to wash their hands or clean their hands of this and point the finger at somebody else. There's going to be a whole lot of finger pointing and blaming and passing the buck. A lot of stuff. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis said that a team of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, will be doing a long-term investigation to determine what caused this collapse. They claim that they're going to get to the bottom of what happened. I keep saying this, that owners of the units in the oceanfront condo building were just days away from a deadline to start making steep payments toward that $9 million in major repairs that had been recommended 3 years earlier. But here's the thing about that. Yes, the cost was $9 million, 3 years, but that damage increases over that time, and of course, it's more money that's involved. So grand juries in South Florida have examined other large-scale disasters. There was a collapse of a pedestrian bridge at Florida's International University, which killed 6 people back in 2018. That investigation is still ongoing. So I don't know how long this is going to be dragged out. I don't know how long this is going to be stretched out. Criminal charges in matters like this are possible. And it seems like in this instance are necessary and deserved. But there could be a third-degree felony murder. Manslaughter charges were brought in a 1996 accidental crash of Value Jet, if anybody remembers that. Value Jet crashed in the Everglades that killed 110 people. So it's definitely possible to have criminal charges filed with regards to large-scale disasters. And this is a large-scale disaster. You've been hearing them talk about air pockets, voids, and areas where it is possible that folks could, be living within this rubble. My issue is, why is it taking so long? I understand it's raining sometimes. I understand, they're trying to, make sure that the rescue workers are safe. But if they're pulling, after 1 week, they're pulling rubble and they're putting it in a dump truck, why after 1 week have we not got to the bottom of this? I don't know. Maybe it's me. But they need to start moving faster. Because my thing is that after 1 week, you got folks, maybe after 2 days, they could have possibly been found alive. And if we're going to find folks that are dead and died after the collapse happened, but the rescue efforts have been going, in my opinion, slow. In my opinion, it's going slow. Because there's a lot of grandstanding, there's a lot of people talking to the cameras, there's a lot of that kind of stuff that's happening, and we want to know what's going on, but at the same time, can y'all get through this stuff? Can you get through this concrete? We got people coming from all over the world, and y'all still moving at a snail's pace. John McCain in the morning on the all new RadioOnFire.com. Of course, I am here daily, 8 a.m., delivering the biggest political and trending news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from across this country, emanating from our studios in Baltimore and Atlanta. Show is fun, show is upbeat, but I also got to expose what's happening in this country, and I'm definitely going to call things out when I see them, when I hear about them. President Biden is scheduled to go to Surfside to this partial collapse on tomorrow. He and his wife will be down there. Thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. And I'm sure there's going to be pressure on him to do something, some kind of changes. There should be some type of federal regulation to how often these buildings are inspected. And owners should not be able to skirt by making needed repairs and diverting funds to other things. That should be a federal thing across the board. It shouldn't be no 40 years. 40 years? They're throwing these buildings up like it ain't nothing. 40 years is way too long. 40 years is way too long. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. I hate to hear stories like this. Not only because my parents live in a condo, I don't know, 15 floors in Maryland. And so this definitely hits close to home. Definitely hits close to home. And I mean, you can work in office buildings. I mean, there's so many different high-rise structures that you come in contact with just on a regular basis. So your heart goes out to the people in the Surfside condo. And then you also have to stop and think about your own experiences in your own life. Could this be me next? A building that I go in all the time. I'm in office buildings all the time. 20 stories, 15 stories, whatever. And then if there's no type of oversight, if repairs are just being ignored, how safe are all of us? Infrastructure. You hear the politicians in D.C. told, no, it's not infrastructure. That's not infrastructure. Talking about infrastructure. Other people talking about infrastructure. How safe are we? The death toll has increased to 12 people. Families are clinging to hope as these rescue workers race against time after this horrible building collapse. 149 others remain unaccounted for. 12-story building. This partial collapse occurred around 1:15 a.m. Man. Yeah, that is just, it's a serious thing. And it is It is something that we are going to have to get some kind of federal regulation on. I know Republicans and libertarians, oh my God, get the government out of our business. But we have to make some type of national standard with regards to this. This cannot just be left up to local governments to just do whatever, willy-nilly, whatever they want to do. As I said, President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will travel to Surfside tomorrow, according to the White House. Last week, the president approved an emergency declaration in Florida and ordered federal assistance to supplement state and local response efforts in the wake of this collapse. I just feel like it's a whole bunch of local, state, federal people walking back and forth. I'm in charge. Nothing's happening because it's all of these people, like I said, coming from around the world, and this thing is still moving at a snail's pace. The remaining structure that still stands was cleared by rescue workers last week. Crews have cut a 125-foot long, 20-foot wide, and 40-foot deep trench through the pile to help enhance their search. They had moved more than 3 million pounds of concrete. Concrete's already heavy. Yeah, they sitting around weighing concrete and all this kind of stuff. All this is for media. Just get it done. They want to say, oh, because this is for the media sprays. Oh, we moved 3 million pounds of concrete, and that equals about 850 cubic feet. I mean, they want to pat themselves on the back. Just get the stuff moved out of the way. I understand this is a tedious effort, but we have folks from around the world. You got local, you got state, you got federal, you got people from other countries coming through. And yet, crews have still not physically reached the bottom of the pile after a week. All the billions of pounds of concrete and all the stuff that they're doing, all the dump trucks moving debris to the alternate site and all that kind of stuff. They got all these resources, allegedly. But for them to have federal, state, local, people from around the world, having 80 rescuers working on 12-hour shifts, to me, doesn't seem like enough. To me, it just doesn't seem like enough. Seems like it could be more. But hey, I just want the best, and I'm sure that they want the best as well. The all-new RadioOnFire.com. Diamond K in the morning. Here, on to some Baltimore news. Many of you may remember the 2017 death of a police officer named Sean Suter in Baltimore. He was a detective. In 2017, this was top news. A lot of people had their take on what happened to Detective Sean Suter. I, being one of those people, had my thoughts on that. Another person that had some thoughts, I suppose, or what happened was Baltimore Police Commissioner Michael Harrison, who was investigating the case and in the process used tactics that harmed the residents of Harlem Park. 4 residents of Harlem Park, which is the area of Baltimore that Detective Suter died in. 4 residents of that Harlem Park area sued the city for how they handled the investigation into Suter's death in this neighborhood. So they put this neighborhood on lockdown. A settlement has been reached, and one of the requirements was for Harrison to issue a public apology. So what frustrates me is that oftentimes law enforcement can do whatever they want to do. You can mention it at the time. Hey, it's not a good idea, or hey, this or that. And then they don't address what you're saying at that time. They don't take that into consideration because it's about power. We got power over you. You go over there. You can't cross this line. You can't cross the street. You can't go over here. And then later on, when it's investigated, they did the thing all wrong, right? But nothing can be done about it at the moment. So you got to wait. This happened in 2017. And let's keep in mind, we still don't know what happened to Detective Suter. They did all this lockdown, all this, frisky people. You can't come in the neighborhood. You can come in the neighborhood. All this stuff. And they still don't know what happened. So for a 5-day period, November 15th to November 20th in 2017, the police department issued a perimeter that blocked constitutional rights while trying to investigate the death of Suter. They locked down the neighborhood. They should have locked down police headquarters because that was a police matter. Allegedly. Amid the investigation into the tragic death of Detective Sean Suter, the Baltimore Police Department men and women tasked with maintaining the crime scene perimeter were not guided by adequate supervision to reinforce constitutional requirements for stops and searches. Oh, an attorney put this together. This is part of Harrison's public apology to the residents. Executive decisions did not give appropriate weight to the impact of sustained law enforcement presence on the community in making decisions about where and how long to hold the crime scene. They don't hold no other crime scene like this, but they did this here. This was just for show because officers know what happened. But you got the blue shield or blue wall, whatever it is. They're not going to talk, of course. So we go through all this theatrics. Theatrics. That's what this was. Drama class. The result was a protracted police presence that was not aligned with any national best practice for investigations, nor any true community policing model. This happens all the time. Only reason he's saying this stuff is because it was part of the settlement. And he probably was kicking and screaming about this. Negative interactions between the Baltimore Police Department and members of the public are not necessary or useful to professional policing work. They need to say this over and over again almost every day. In fact, they were detrimental to the community trust that is essential to effective crime reduction. I am deeply saddened, the commissioner says, and troubled that these events have shaken your faith and trust in the police who are sworn to serve and protect the city's residents. He doesn't take any accountability, right? He doesn't take any accountability. What? Aren't you the one that gave the order? Nowhere in his apology does he say me. Oh, I'm sorry this happened to you. You were the one that gave the order. Accountability. They never take accountability. People hardly ever take accountability in government and law enforcement. Why? Because they want to save face. He is deeply saddened and troubled by these events. You caused the events. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. it goes on and it goes on and it goes on. Does this make anybody feel better? There is a documentary that's coming out about Sean Suiter, Detective Suiter. I was contacted about that documentary, and I believe it comes out in the fall. So hopefully, eventually, one day, we will find out what happened. Because I never bought the suicide story that was thrown on the public. Never bought that story. Diamond K in the morning on the all-new RadioOnFire.com. Of course, I am here mornings, 8 a.m. It's Diamond K in the morning on the all-new RadioOnFire.com. Program is available on the WRF Radio app. Simply download WRF Radio in your app store. Leave me a comment. Scroll your timeline. Attend a Zoom meeting on mute or do some online shopping. Send an email, all while listening to Diamond K in the morning. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K. Hit that subscribe button. Get breaking news and adult conversations covering topics that are important to the black culture and everybody. Visit RadioOnFire.com for our original podcast, radio, and TV programs. So, in addition to all that's going on with regards to Miami and this partial collapse, the country is trying to get on the other side of a pandemic. Now, the tricky thing about this pandemic is that there is this thing called the Delta variant. The Delta variant is rapidly spreading and becoming the dominant strand in every country where it has appeared. So they are issuing new recommendations that even fully vaccinated people should keep wearing masks and be socially distancing. What I predicted is happening. Things move too fast. People were too quick to say, oh, we're free. We're out of the water. We've beat. Mission accomplished. Mission has not been accomplished. And people are too quick to just do what they want, what they really want to believe, but not paying attention to the fact that the powers that be don't know enough about COVID-19. It changes, the guidance changes and keeps changing. So now they were telling people, take a mask off. You got vaccinated, it's all good. You don't have to wear a mask, you're in no danger. And they said that too quickly because now we have the Delta variant spreading rapidly. They're getting ready to start telling people, put the mask back on. At least that's what the World Health Organization is saying. They've issued some new recommendations that even fully vaccinated people should keep wearing masks and social distance. Researchers said that there is still a lot to learn, and of course there's still a lot to learn. They only made these vaccines, not that long ago. So we're still learning about it. We're still trying to understand it. Researchers are saying that the presence of the Delta variant is concerning. They are still highlighting the importance of getting vaccinated. They still want you to get vaccinated. It's just that the Delta variant is rapidly becoming dominant. And it is being found it's in this country. So it's more contagious and it's spreading across the globe. Researchers say that vaccines do protect you against the new Delta variant. But if you're only partially vaccinated, you are still susceptible. Researchers said that there's still a lot that they don't know about this variant. But it appears young kids who can't get the vaccine are more susceptible to this mutation. That's not something that's good. The U.S. is doing well compared to other countries as far as vaccinations, but the Delta strain is thriving in areas with lower vaccination rates. So you can see some connection between vaccinations and the spread. Researchers also say getting the shot will help stop the virus from spreading and mutating any further. So they are learning more. Initially, I was concerned with the lack of knowledge about this because it was so new. They are learning. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, has not given any indication that they would change their guidance based on the World Health Organization's recommendations. So that is the WHO saying that. It's not the CDC. That may change. We don't know. We don't know. Now, masks are coming off. I'm saying that on one hand, and then on the other hand, I'm saying masks are coming off at Baltimore County public schools. The Baltimore County Board of Education announced that starting July 1, masks will no longer be required in county schools and offices. However, they will still be required when riding on school buses. Go figure. Baltimore County Public Schools supports the right of all staff and students to choose to wear masks for their personal safety. But the board is also encouraging those who are not vaccinated to keep their masks on. School board says that it is still working on updating the district's COVID-19 mitigation plan and will release it as soon as it is completed. So depending on where you are depends on what the guidance is with regards to COVID-19. Yep. That is what we are looking at with regards to that. WHO issuing new guidance. WHO has really taken a hit since the whole COVID-19 pandemic surfaced. Definitely taking a hit. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show, at RadioOnFire. Before we get out of here, announced yesterday, Bobby Brown versus Keith Sweat in a versus battle. I needed to brighten things up a bit. So they're continuing to ride that wave of success. Versus is set to provide another battle between two polarizing figures in R&B, the infamous Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat. Announcement comes just ahead of this event. They made the announcement yesterday, and the battle's going to take place Tuesday. I'm sorry, the battle's going to take place Thursday. They made the announcement on Tuesday. Battle's going to take place on Thursday, July 1. This is a collaborative effort in conjunction with Essence. This is going to be interesting. This is a dope battle right here. Man, I'm actually giving the edge to Bobby Brown. I mean, Bobby has his work with New Edition, but Keith Sweat is not only a singer but a producer as well, and he's put some groups out and catalog. I mean, it's just it really could go either way, I suppose. But Keith Sweat put on a lot of artists. I don't know. This is tough, man. This is tough. I am really looking forward to this. Really looking forward to this. Of course, you're going to be able to see it in all the locations normal, but this is the Essence Festival. Part of that, of course, Fight TV, Essence.com, or the Fight app on IG. Trilla, Drinks by Ciroc. Don't let Bobby Brown get lit now. This is a very big surprise here. Cannot wait to see this. 8 p.m. tomorrow Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Who's going to win this? Not sure about that. Not sure about that. Okay. As always, you want to support the program, RadioOnFire.com/donate is where you go. Diamond K in the Morning is powered by the people, and we need your support. Not only supporting financially, but definitely like, subscribe, share, all of that. That's free to do that. Facebook.com/RadioOnFire. Facebook.com/The Diamond K Show. I will be back here tomorrow. Thank you, as always. You need to get in touch with me, DJ Diamond K at gmail.com.